He had to get breastfed to come back to life.
He needs some milk.
Yo, what is up, you guys? Today we are going to be reviewing a mind-boggling, thought-scrambling show for y'all today, Midnight Gospel. Before we get into it, I just wanted to say that this was by far the hardest show I've ever had to not only watch, but do a review on. The best way to describe this show is those TikTok videos where they got one person commentating on the top and the bottom's just a random clip of stuff happening. That's pretty much Midnight Gospel. And this show is so hard to not only watch, but review, because if you look away for 0.1 seconds, they're going to be on a totally different topic, and you're going to have no idea what's going on. I can't tell you how many times I had to rewind this show. Episode 1. Midnight Gospel starts off and captivates you with not only a burst of colors, but an intriguing world. Wow, look at this. I knew I was gonna be hooked as soon as I saw the first episode, and we got zombies, and they talking about the ganja, and the benefits and negatives on marijuana and how they affect people and society as they busting up some zombies. Can we just take a second and talk about the president's hot chocolate maker? Oh my god. I wonder if they have one of those in the actual White House. Okay. The president and Clancy then go into talking about the dangers between benzos and drinking. And it was a really intense conversation until Papa Zombie showed up and started deep-throating the White House.
Oh my.
And damn, that scorpion was going in on that zombie's giblets, bruh. Even as a zombie, that had to have hurt. And that one couple at the mall was really on they Bonnie and Clyde. Killed some zombies and went straight to sucking each other's tongues and rubbing his wife's stomach. Made me a little uncomfortable. But that's my kind of zombie apocalypse, you know what I mean? Killing zombies with your boat thing. Also, the zombie song at the end was a certified bop. Not gonna lie, I would definitely play that on a late night drive home on the highway. It was a great first adventure, and he got a dog with a space hole belly. Episode 2. Clancy's kinda wild for wanting to go to a planet full of clowns. I don't fuck with clowns. They some creepy clowns too. It's like clown spider heads controlling people with tentacles and stabbing them. I don't even know. It was cute to see all the little clown babies all dancing and singing until the deer dogs started going ham on them. Absolutely decimated. Them deer dogs really out here insta-killing. This episode had a very interesting talk though between Clancy and Annie, one of the deer dogs, talking about her view on death. They talk about how everyone will die one day and being able to accept death will help you in the end be more free. Then they all got chopped up in some meat pieces, bro. Looked like they was about to get carried to a cookout, but carried on their conversation as if nothing happened. One of the points that resonated with me the most when Annie was talking was when she explained her fear that if she stopped drinking, it would hurt her ability to write. And that really resonated with me, because I used to have that feeling all the time when I would do my reaction channel, because I used to smoke before I recorded every single video, and I didn't like doing it, but I felt like if I was sober, I wouldn't be as funny and entertaining, and people would stop watching. They also were diving into the concept of love and what it means to love somebody. Through love, all pain will turn into medicine. That was a beautiful quote. Then all hell breaks loose and the clowns and fly people start going at a full-on war. And then poof, there goes that world.
Stupid, I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
Episode 3. What is that dog doing? He looks like he's galaxy tailing. At first, I was like, what is going on this episode? Poops in a jar and eat the scoop, no doubt. What? What? Then Chancey saying,
I'll get your cream.
huh? Clancy's machine is really screaming, help me, help. I don't know why, but when the machine said,
My rapidly deteriorating sensors.
that killed me, bruh. Chancey popped out though to Ice Cream World, which is really a one-of-a-kind place. Clancy dove right in the water and almost got murked by a sea beast. Luckily, these cats on a ship killed it with a giant guillotine. This episode got even weirder, with a fish in a robot body captaining around cats on a boat on a world with ice cream, bruh. I'm personally not a dude to really meditate at all, but that fish robot had me really second guessing and thinking about it. Although when he said he didn't care he was put in prison because he was doing magic, I was low-key thinking in the back of my mind, they should have locked Brody up in an insane asylum. Steve the Fish, though, is the plug. He even got himself a built-in smoker contraption on his fishbowl head.
I need one of those.
Robot Fish had a dope-ass boat, too. It really had everything on there. Clancy and Fishman were getting deep, and then boom! All of a sudden, Fishman gets giant and starts fighting Barry, and Barry's talking about Fishman ruining his marriage with his wife. I felt bad for Barry, but at the same time, how you let a fish with no willy steal your wife, bro? It had to be your fault. In the end, though, Clancy got a unicorn that spits up ice cream. So on to all W world. Episode 4. I don't get why Hoop scoops ice cream poop. I don't get why Hoop's dad was tripping so much. All Clancy gave him was some free shirts and ice cream. This episode, Chancey thought he was going to a little orgy world, but instead got smack dabbed into an evil looking planet. Creepy Cornelius flipped out on Clancy for just trying to buy him a drink. Like, I respect that he's sober, but fam, chill, bro. And why you got a bunch of bugs inside you? Cornelius ended up getting killed by a love arrow from 7-foot-tall speaker shotted Trudy. And Clancy was low-key in love. Might just have been them 10 dangalangs he had, just giving him a little testosterone boost.
This guy, am I right?
This episode, they started talking about forgiveness, which in my opinion is a really hard thing to do nowadays with how many things are happening and how many bad people there are in the world. And I do agree that it's good to forgive, but you have to really figure out where that fine line is, where it's too much. Prince Blondie is a whole menace. Man pulled up on Trudy and snatched her man with his booty cheek. Stuffed him right in there like a rabbit in a hole.
Disgusting!
Prince Jam must have ate one too many Taco Bell tacos to get a booty demon like that.
Nice ass.
Trudy really a badass though. She was having a whole conversation with Clancy while fighting and dodging this giant. Even started throwing hella disrespect, giving the dude some kisses mid-fight. She also dogged the fuck out that witch who was tweaking out, talking about milking her crow. Hit her with that fake bomb child. I guess you could say that she's the bomb. I'm sorry. I really agreed with Clancy when he said sometimes he loses his ability to listen, thinking about his own problems in life at times, and I feel that. Sometimes when someone's talking to me, they'll say something that will trigger me in my own brain to go deep into my own thoughts, and I'll just zone out. And when I zone back in, I'll just hit him with a I feel that. Clancy was super close to dying with the whole entire planet, but he ended up being able to escape, and he got to keep that insane flower that can bring people back to life. Episode 5. Clancy woke up this episode hung over as shit from the last mission, and the rose was rapidly deteriorating. Also, I don't know what kind of throw up that is, but Clancy should probably go see a doctor, because I ain't never seen no throw up that look like that. And you know it's gonna be an insane episode when Clancy himself doesn't even know what's going on. My jaw was dropped during this scene. Clancy and that bird are having a normal conversation as those two dudes in the background are absolutely obliterating each other. I was thinking now that the green guy shared the food that he was gonna be fine, but dude still got murked. At that point, the cop really just enjoyed shooting him.
The police.
This prison is actually insane. You just keep dying and coming back to life over and over trying to escape. And that's what Green Guy did, although he kept evolving every single time. Like untying that handkerchief rope was genius. And then he still died. He had to get breastfed to come back to life.
He needs some milk.
At that point, my dude was broken. I'm stressing full on tears. But he finally ended up figuring it out. Even had Clancy and the bird rooting for that man.
Okay, let's go.
This time when he died, he got a heart to stop and go forward and backward in time. He used it smooth as hell too. He waited till Clancy's meteor hit the place, hopped on that bitch, and then hit a reverse all the way back out. He even got his tongue back, and I was like, oh dang, I can't wait to hear what he sounds like, thinking he's gonna be some hard ass. Ends up a total softy and starts singing like he's Snow White in the woods trying to call some animal army. I was just cuddled up in my bed with my girl this episode, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Then the bird Clancy was having a conversation with turned into a sock and pooped out another sock. Clancy also went to check on his flower to see how it's doing, and there's rats who are praising it and healing loved ones. This show really is a whole ass fever dream. Episode 6. I really enjoyed episode 6 because the first half of it was not a podcast and just a normal episode. You got to learn more about Clancy himself and the actual world he lives in and how it works. Clancy's machine at this point was really bugging out. Clancy's new neighbor's a little weird also. He got his kids going on these missions trying to get golden unicorn horns to get a few more simulators like he don't got 25 chilling at his ranch. Meanwhile, Clancy's one machine is starting to produce pie monsters. I did feel bad for that one pie monster who came out of the machine and looked at his own reflection and started crying.
You're so ugly when you cry.
And that's when Clancy called a simulator repair guy to help him out, Captain Bryce. Captain Bryce went inside his RV to give the machine a look and almost died if it wasn't for that flower.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
Clancy and Captain Bryce went into this fenced-in area of Wobble, trying to get himself a little green slime from a cow alien-looking thingamabobble. But Captain Bryce accidentally caught himself in a yellow Wobble and turned into a tortured Ghost Rider. Clancy looked at the situation and said,
I'll just go steal it from my neighbor.
ended up getting one jar and lathering his machine in it, and everything was back to normal. Clancy's machine said, hey, you gotta go ahead and talk to my meditation man, David. And damn, let me just tell you, meditation man David got some dusty ass socks. Also, can someone tell me why this bug got a butt plug?
Who isn't into butt plugs?
David really, though, started getting deep with Clancy, talking about psychological space and the swarm of thoughts that go through your mind. Another good part about seeing David is Clancy got another pair of shoes to add to his collection, and he's starting to get drippy, I'm not even gonna lie. I do feel like Clancy, though, could have went and freed Captain Bryce if he just pushed him out the waddle and then scratched him with the flower. Feel like that would have worked. Episode 7. I will never get tired of seeing Clancy shoot through the sky going to a new planet. With his little theme song music, it's just always so satisfying. I know though, when Clancy went to the plain planet and tried to go down that water slide with no water, that shit had to hurt. Clancy fell into his bag and holy shit, that man's bag will put Mary Poppins to shame.
So I'll just see myself out then.
He even had Death chilling in his bag. Clancy ends up interviewing Death and talks about the Death industrial complex and how services became capitalizing on the embalming practices. We ended up having some Satan demon looking thing tagging along and started getting spanked by the sleeping Pope and got a little too turned on by it and then started playing with the jazz man's trumpet, if you know what I mean. Clancy did end up though working that pig and getting the hose for his water slide. Episode 8. The final episode of season 1 went right into it with zero context. Clancy was about to go to a planet and his mom came to visit and he did an interview with her as some bears were following them around drawing. And she confirmed it that Clancy was born a menace. My man, right when he came into this world, the first thing he did was pee on the doctor. This episode, we really got to take a dive into Clancy's past and learn about him and his life growing up, which we haven't really got yet up to this point. I know that one Dr. Bell was low-key feeling himself when he did that flip off the paper. That shit was smooth. I kind of agreed with Clancy and his mom when they talked about the first few years of your life really set up your personality structure for the future and the origins of who you are, but I think it's only to a certain extent. I think once people get older and are more self-aware, they have the capacity to change their habits of origin. Nowadays, though, with how advanced and integrated technology has gotten into our society, people don't really live in the present anymore as much as they should be. At the same time, though, I can understand why it's hard with the weight of the world on you and the emotions of your past and present to just block it all out and
Be here now.
I was really getting into this episode, and then Clancy's mom passed and became a beautiful mushroom. And then Clancy became pregnant and delivered a baby who was his mom. Then I had to take a step back and I was like, what is going on here? I love when they said as well that you can't control situations, but you can choose how you react to it. Because I think a lot of people forget about that. I'm a very happy person, and honestly, these past few months have been really shit for me. And I could choose to get down and really upset with myself and at life. But at the end of the day, you got to think about it. My problems compared to someone else's in the world is so minuscule that it really doesn't matter. Then Clancy and his mom also got a little bit into the topic of accepting death. And personally, I have already accepted that I will die one day. This world is so fucked, and trying to figure out the meaning of life is so incomprehensible and pointless because the universe is so vast and unexplainable that you will never really know for sure until it happens. I think the true meaning and value of life and being alive has been crushed and lost in the burdens of day-to-day life from the impossible structure of society. Poop, shoot, hoop, ice cream dude's dad really is a whole ass off. He really told the cops that Clancy is an unlicensed sim user. I didn't really understand the ending with him jumping into his simulator. Is he alive or is he dead? Is he living in the simulator world? I just have a lot of questions, so if you have made it this far in the video and you know, if you could let me know down in the comments, I would really appreciate it. Now the hard part, trying to figure out how to rate this show. I would give it a 7.7, and here's why. Artistically, it was absolutely beautiful, but like I said, this is one of the hardest shows I have ever had to watch because there's so much stuff going on in the background as these people are having a super in-depth, high IQ, intellectual conversation about things in our lives. And if you pay attention to what's going on in the show for just a second, by the time you go back to what they're saying, you will be absolutely lost. I still think though that Midnight Gospel is a great show, and I can't wait to see what they end up doing with season 2. As always, make sure you all like and subscribe if you are new to the crew. You better like and subscribe or else I will find you. And as always, make sure you are partying like every day is your birthday. Deuces.